Hello, my name is Marla Toncray, and I'm the exhibits curator here at the Kentucky Gateway Museum Center in Maysville, Kentucky. Today we're going to talk about the miniatures collection that's housed here at KYGMC and the fact that they are decorated for Christmas. This is an annual occurrence that takes place, that Mrs. Browning brings her curation staff in, and they spend about a week decorating all the vignettes here in the Miniatures KSB Gallery, and so that everything has a touch of Christmas in it. And of course, as with all miniatures, they are to scale, so they're within that 1/12 scale design. And there's beautiful pieces scattered throughout the gallery to bring the holiday season home. One of the key pieces for Christmas that Mrs. Browning likes to bring out is the gingerbread house. And more specifically, this is called the gingerbread kitchen. This is a 1/12 scale miniature. All the pieces in it are real. And this particular house is designed with the concept of being in the North Pole, and the elves lived here, and they are in charge of making gingerbread cookies, gingerbread houses. Everything gingerbread at the North Pole takes place in this house, which was designed by Teresa Lehman, who is an employee of Mrs. Browning's and on her own right is a miniature artisan. She lives up in Connecticut, in fact, and she was just here last week getting this piece out. So this is her design. Because it is situated in the North Pole, the weather vane that is situated up here on top of the turret points south in every direction. So again, that's because this is up at the North Pole and they're looking south. There's very interesting details on this. There's little acorn tops here on one of the bay windows. I've just been observing that the filigree work around the turret is actually metal. It is decorated, it's got Christmas garland on it for Christmas. And then you'll see upstairs, all of this is to scale as if the elves were living here. So everything is to scale for an elf. And down here you have the kitchen, which is very busy with the commencement of gingerbread houses being built. We've got cookies on a counter back here. But one of the features that Teresa did was because it is scaled for the concept of elves living here. And while everything else is in scale to them, the front door is larger so that Santa Claus can fit through that door when he comes to visit the elves while they are preparing their gingerbread sweets. A couple of interesting features about this. Again, I've already mentioned this is where the elves make everything gingerbread for Christmas. It looks as if it's been around for centuries, which of course we know that Santa and his elves have been. And it looks as if it's made from gingerbread itself, but actually it's a technique that Teresa uses, incorporating cinnamon, the spice cinnamon, to make the walls of the structure look like it's real gingerbread. So it actually has a very cinnamony smell if you were able to take the case off of it. There's also, let's see, what were some of the other things that they were talking about? And I mentioned the front door. So again, this is like a centerpiece miniature to kick off the Christmas season here at KYGMC. It's located in the atrium just before you walk into the KSB Miniatures Gallery. Hello, we've moved from the atrium of the museum into the KSB Miniatures Gallery, and the keystone piece here is Spencer House. This is a 1/12 scale replica of the Spencer House, which is situated in London. It was one of the many mansions built in the late 1700s during a huge construction boom in London. And it has become the ancestral home of the late Princess Diana of the United Kingdom. As you can see that we've got it decorated, or not we, but Mrs. Browning and her staff have decorated the exterior with Christmas trees on each side of the grand staircase. The lamp lights are decorated, and then we've got the four trees adorning the front door. And now we'll move around to the back to take a look at some of the other rooms in the building. So here we are on the back side of the Spencer house, and as we've mentioned, a miniature is a 1/12 scale reproduction of any item, structure, people, plants, pets. But as you can imagine, this mansion in London would have been huge, and it would have included more than the rooms that have been depicted here. So Mrs. Browning and her artisans selected some significant rooms from the house to reproduce in this miniature. This was created in England and had to be shipped over to America to Mrs. Browning's home before it came to its permanent spot here at the museum. Everything that you see in here is real, so it's real crystal chandeliers, it's real china. The rugs are hand-woven rugs by artisans. So everything is an exact reproduction, and it's to scale. And in this one, you can see that there are Christmas ornamentations throughout. Up here in the music room is a Christmas tree tucked away in the corner, and there's presents underneath it. The mantle is decorated. Here in the formal dining room, you've got touches of the Christmas season with the poinsettias being placed here at the base of the columns. Again, the mantelpiece is decorated. And then on the dining room table itself, on the candelabra, are small Christmas wreaths with ornamentation on them. So that serves as the centerpieces here on the dining room table. And throughout, there are just little touches about Christmas as you would find in your own home. Poinsettias, garlands, presents, trees. In each room, the mantles are decorated for Christmas. You can just see various touches of the Christmas atmosphere. Here in the big the bay window here is a beautiful Christmas tree decorated in shades of silver and gold that you can see then through the windows here and through here, and it's a nice accent to the room that it's placed in. So the colors are all coordinated to the rooms as well. So again, this is Spencer House. This display will be up through the end of the holiday season until December 31st. So we encourage you to come by and take in these miniature details of Christmas. We've moved a little deeper into the KSB Miniature Gallery here, and we're highlighting now this beautiful nativity set, which is based upon the adoration of the shepherd. Again, Teresa Lehman, who created the gingerbread house and the gingerbread kitchen, she is the artist that constructed the structure itself. And there are various artisans involved in the construction of the figures, the accent pieces, the foods and everything. But when you come here and look at this manger scene, you get a real sense of what the manger would have been like in the days when Christ was born. There's very small detailing to this, like the fact that on the top of this structure, below the eave of the thatched roof, that you've got various vessels up there, jugs and baskets and whatnot. On the back wall of this structure, there is a fire, or a candle in the window over here. You can see that there are candles flickering at the entrance to the manger, and we've got a cow and a chicken looking in, and everything is positioned again for the birth of Christ with Mary and Joseph in the manger. They have a spread of food here on plates. The three kings are beautifully adorned in their clothing. The camels have these beautiful oriental type rugs across their backs over the saddles. So it really gives you a sense of being back in that time thousands of years ago, and what this environment would have looked like. And again, with each one of these miniatures, there's such minutia detail in each one that you see something different every time that you come in here. But this is just a lovely and peaceful illustration of the nativity set and the birth of Jesus. This is a miniature that am actually seeing for the first time, and I've worked here for 4 years. This is called the Mad Science Lab, and it is themed to Christmas. And there's 2 Santa Clauses that I have found so far. One is up here on the roof with his bag of toys, and he's got a white reindeer behind him. And the other Santa is positioned down here. He looks more like the working Santa, where he looks like he's out delivering the toys. They have decorated it really sweetly with the holly berries, and there's a wreath up here. But it's a science workshop. There's a cat over here on the floor. There are little pots and jars of ingredients that a scientist would use. Getting some humor in here. They do have a skull on the center of the table that has a Santa hat on it, as well as a fake nose, eyes, and mustache decor. And then they've decorated the chains on the rope along the walkway there with little balls, Christmas balls. So you can see that even though we might have a mad scientist here concocting something up for Christmas, even he gets into the spirit by decorating. There's just lots of cute little details. One of the books down here on the bottom shelf, when you look closely, it has a chain around it with a padlock, so it makes you wonder what type of mysterious items might be in there. He's got his beakers going, and you can just imagine having a flame under there, and you can even kind of sense the smells that would be percolating in his workshop as he worked here. So this is a really cool one, and it looks like it's set in a medieval castle. And here we are at another item that's new to me this year. This is just lovely. This bottom one is entitled Magical Sleigh Ride, and it's very fanciful. It's got rabbits as the team of horses pulling the sleigh. There's a beautiful swan here. That is the coachman that's handling the reins, and he's got it in his mouth, and the swan even has a crown. And then we've got two mercats in here. One of them apparently is a female, and she is sitting up on the bench of the sleigh. And she has on what appears to be a little crown, and she's carrying a flower. And then this is the man over here. So this is just lovely and fanciful. This is Santa's at the North Pole. You can see he's all bundled up coming in the door. This gives you a very rustic feel of what you think Santa's workshop might look like and feel like. Looks like he's been busy getting things decorated. We've got chairs here. There's a loom. His Christmas tree is beautifully decorated with presents around the bottom of it. You can even see that one of the presents is a little red cape with the hood with white fur accenting it. So just all kinds of cute little things here in Santa's place at the North Pole.